has the novelty of like actually releasing a movie in theaters after the last couple of years of COVID worn off yet, or is it still like quite an exciting thing that it is actually coming out theatrically?
How do you feel about it coming out theatrically, Josh?
I mean, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that it's going to play in movie theaters. I mean, I think, look, there's certain kind of films that are built to be seen in a theatrical, cinematic, environment. Musicals, comedy. These are like communal experiences, and I think we've been all a little bit, gotten into the habit of sitting on our couches and watching, things on a small TV or on a screen. There's really nothing like bringing your kids, your family, your friends, and sort of quieting the world for 2 hours and really losing yourself in a magical experience. And that's why we made the movie, and I think that's why we're happy it's getting released theatrically.
Sure. I mean, I guess talking of like why you made the movie, like what was about this one that kind of made you want to go on board in the first place? What was it about the story that originally appealed to you?
Well, we developed it ourselves because we'd always loved the book. So we brought it to Sony, and I think for us it was really about doing something that had a little piece of nostalgia from our childhood. Also, we went to film school in New York together, so being able to shoot a movie in New York was always, an ambition of ours and very exciting. We've been able to do that twice. And, we had wanted to do a musical. We had threatened each other that we were going to do that at some point. And so, we really dove in and experienced all of those challenges and excitements that come from that experience.
I guess it must have been like at times quite a challenge, I guess, given that, obviously, as you say, musical, where one of the main singers is not actually going to be there on set. That must have been, I imagine, really like challenging, but also really fun to kind of get to grips with, I suppose.
It is, and it really is an enormous amount of planning. Our friends that had made musicals told us you really have to make it like 5 months before you actually make it because there's so much planning. But, it really helps when Pasek and Paul are writing your songs. Because the songs really drive, all the choices in how you choreograph and how you tell the story. And they're just doing work that's so incredible and exceptional at this point that we were just thrilled to work with them.
As you mentioned your nostalgia for the books, then I going to just, I guess in terms of that, like, was it a bit maybe daunting at times, I guess, feeling like you kind of had to do justice to those books? Because obviously, they are so beloved. Or were you able to kind of put that to your back? Were you able to put that to the back of your mind to a degree?
No, we tried to honor the book at every stage. I mean, the great thing about it is it's not a very long book, so we didn't really have to, completely adapt every moment of it. There was a lot that we could leave to our imagination, and we worked with the family's estate to make sure they were in sync with our creative choices. And in the end, they were very pleased with what we did. And we also did things like include the illustration from the book throughout the movie, and we also dealt with the color palette from the book in the movie. So there's a lot of crossover between the adaptation.
And I guess it's, as you say, the books being as short as they are leaves you a lot of space to kind of put your own stamp on them as well, which I guess is going to be quite a nice thing from your standpoint, to feel you're not kind of beholden to the book, I guess.
Exactly. Sometimes when IP is so specific and so known, it can be very, challenging and a hindrance. But here there was definite room for us to grow the character, the story, the origin, the narrative. Even, coming up with how he got his name was something we got to do, which was really exciting.
And in terms of, I guess, the atmosphere on set, like Javier especially, but everyone looked like they were having just the time of their lives watching the movie. I mean, was it a fun atmosphere on set? As you say, shooting in New York has always got to be.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really joyful set. I mean, Javier had really worked for almost 5 months to practice the musical numbers, and he really showed up in fighting shape. I mean, he really was able to do the numbers all the way through, and it was just incredible to watch him sort of be so loose and be so kind of joyous. We'd always known him, obviously, as everybody does, for his dramatic roles and for his kind of the power of his performances, but we always knew that he was funny, and you could tell that he was very charming, and it was exciting to be able to sort of watch that come out of him, and that really enlivened the set, I think.